This module is a part of the training series for the POWER program, Positive Outcomes with Emotion Regulation. This module focuses on the second group meeting, which will introduce the concepts of recognizing and labeling emotions. Please take a few moments to review this disclaimer about this training module. The goals of the second group meeting of the POWER program include identifying and describing different categories of emotions, setting an individual goal related to an emotion, and using external or internal clues to determine when others or oneself is feeling an emotion. These are the materials you will need for the first group meeting. For each student, you will need to have the student books, writing utensils, and the challenge form for week 2. During the meeting, you will also need to have the agenda displayed, the completed group expectations poster, and 12 labeled index cards as described in the implementation manual. This meeting starts off reviewing the group expectations developed during the last meeting, and then reviews the agenda for this meeting. This group meeting reviews the circumflex model of emotion, which will be named the dimensional emotional model for the purposes of this group. There are 2 separate activities that provide guided practice in identifying and labeling emotions, as well as an opportunity for independent practice and reflection. The session closes out with providing the challenge for the next group meeting. Begin the group meeting by briefly reviewing the agenda for the day and reviewing the group norms and expectations developed in the last group meeting. You should plan to include the students in reviewing the expectations and norms developed together as a group, and provide positive and corrective feedback as necessary. After reviewing the group expectations, share your own weekly challenge contribution and ask the students to share their weekly challenge assignment. This week, they were asked to either bring a photo of anything they wish to share or verbally share something. Use this opportunity to continue to build group cohesion before moving into the next activity. After reviewing the weekly challenge, the first activity introduces the circumflex model of emotion. Since the official name is a little less relatable for students, for the purposes of this group, the model will be called the dimensional emotional model. This model describes emotions that occur across 2 dimensions, in terms of an action, inaction, and a pleasant, unpleasant attributes. The general idea behind this concept is to explain how emotions can result in some level of activation or deactivation, as well as being either pleasant or unpleasant. The model shows a few examples of what might occur in each quadrant. The guided practice activity reviews several situations and asks students to identify what quadrant of the module the situation might land. The first 4 are more obvious and should be reviewed first, while the second 4 are open to more interpretation, depending on how the students interpret the situation. This activity is designed to get the students to think about how different situations can lead to various emotions. The emotion detective activity helps make connections between what we see in others that help provide clues to emotions that might be feeling. The discussion component also helps make the connection between how emotions physically manifest in ourselves as well. This activity is game structured similarly to the game Headbands. This game involves the students taping an index card with an emotion labeled on it. The other students are then supposed to give the student clues about what the emotion is by either acting out the emotion or giving clues about behaviors or physical sensations that might be associated with that emotion. Each student should be given the opportunity to guess an emotion during this activity. You should help the students process the activity and discuss whether it was hard or easy to guess the emotion before proceeding to the independent practice portion. Following the game, the independent practice portion of the emotion detective activity asks that the student reflect on the emotions they chose to either increase or decrease, and think about the different sensations they might feel in their body when that emotion happens. The last part of the activity asks the students to identify a situation that makes them feel this way. The challenge for this week is for students to choose a song that relates to their emotion goal and share the title of the song with the group during the next meeting. This challenge is designed to help students link their positive emotion goal to a piece of music or song, which may be helpful during upcoming discussions of coping skills. This module was designed to provide an overview for facilitating Group Meeting 2 for the POWER program. This resource was developed by the Devereaux Center for Effective Schools